What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. So obviously, coming into the 2021 season, G2 Esports was a team built to win. This is a team that's just a couple years removed from the World Final. They were World Semifinalists last year. They went out and got reckless. They had high aspirations, not only for the LEC, not only for domestically. They were kind of just assuming those titles were going to be won, but then looking at things like MSI, Worlds, wanting to make deep runs, wanting to fight for titles, and, preseason power rankings, tier lists, and everything, you'd be hard-pressed to find people that didn't have every single G2 player pretty dang near the top, if not at the very top of their list. This is a team that was loaded with talent and had high expectations, and obviously they came up short in the spring split. And whenever you came up short, especially getting third place in the LEC, it's going to have people asking questions. It's going to be having people at least potentially calling for change or wanting some change. And I know I've talked a little bit about how I think at least Grabbz is on the hot seat going into summer split, that there's maybe some coaching, leadership, something issues going on with G2. And yesterday we got this bomb from Bloop GG where he tweeted out sources. G2 Esports will sign Nelson SNG as their new strategic coach to reinforce their coaching staff for the 2021 LEC summer split. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, please take a second and smash that like button. I would appreciate it so much. Also, subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content so you guys don't miss out on anything we got going on in the near future. We have tons of awesome videos coming your way. We're in the middle of a crazy offseason right now. We got MSI right around the corner and then summer split before you know it. With that being said, here we go. Getting into this. So, first up, one big thing to clarify here is that Bloop did later tweet out, well, he also said that Nelson received some other offers from LEC teams looking to reinforce their staff for the upcoming split, but he chose G2. That's interesting. Obviously, if he's showing a lot of interest, maybe there is. Obviously, he's at least pretty well respected. People see some value in him and everything. We got to hit him with the follow on Twitter now since he's in the LEC. Obviously, I'm not shocked that if he had multiple offers, he chose to go to G2. Maybe G2 was paying him a little more, but either way, the chance to work with a very, very prestigious roster and a coach who thinks very, very highly of themselves, seeing the talent on G2, seeing just the overall players, the names and everything. If you think you are a good coach who can get more out of players who can really help a team, G2 is an awesome team to do that with. Because if you can get more out of these players, if you can help them reach their potentials, if you can help them reach their ceilings or peaks of their gameplay, then this G2 team can be very scary. Much scarier than any team in the LEC, just as far as peak potential of the 5 players on this roster, and really they can be one of the scariest teams in the world. So again, I get it, why he would go to G2. I think it makes a ton of sense. If you are able to help G2 go from third place to first, and then have a good performance at Worlds, that's going to make you potentially a lot of money. That could earn you a head coaching job at some point in the future. That's going to set you up for success in your career. Again, even if we'll never know behind the scenes how much Nelson has to do with any of this or how much he is helping out or whatever, but just the optics and the reputation and recognition and everything would be so good. So I think that makes a ton of sense. Also, Bloop goes on to clarify that it is not necessary to clarify this. I mean, I would say it is. I don't know why you'd ever say it's not necessary to clarify anything. People are always going to be asking questions. People are always going to be swirling around with the rumors and speculation and everything. Always clarify, but this is an addition, not a replacement to anyone from the G2 staff. I don't really get why you would say that's not necessary, because you say you're bringing in a new coach, people are automatically going to think, oh, is Grabbz gone? Oh, is Duffman gone? Like, oh, what's going on with G2? But yeah, that is the big thing here. This is not a new head coach. This is not Grabbz getting demoted. That is not anything like that. This is just them bringing in another guy to their staff. Again, a strategic coach, just going to help them with obviously strategizing, stuff like that. And then this guy, this is a Reddit comment they tweet out. He said, it's purely wishful thinking, but I would like to see him help coaching G2, talking about Nelson. Since Grabbz is more of a facilitator and Duffman is an analyst and was working remotely, I'm interested to see how they would do if things weren't mostly driven by the players and had some LPL input. And I completely agree with that sentiment. That is something that I have been talking about, that Yankos and some guys on G2 have been talking about how G2 has had a leadership issue, and that I think they need some different voices. I think they need additions to the coaching staff. Again, that's why I think that going into the summer split, depending on how G2 does, Grabbz might be a little bit on the hot seat, especially considering how they do at Worlds, because yes, at times this coaching style, at times this atmosphere and stuff has worked for G2, but in the spring split, obviously something went a little bit wrong. And obviously with Perks leaving, maybe this team isn't the same as they were before. Maybe they have different needs as far as coaching or as far as styles or whatever. Because this split, we saw a much worse version of Mickey. We saw a much worse version of Wonder. We saw a much worse version of Yankos as well. Like, they're there was not improvement over the course of split. There wasn't any creativity in the gameplay, in the drafts, and anything. This team really looked flat in the playoffs, and it really did look disappointing. So we can actually pull up this article from Dot, see what they have to say about Nelson a little bit. They said that G2 Esports will take on the services of Nelson SNG to reinforce its staff for the 2021 LEC Summer Split. According to sources close to Dot, Nelson will act as the team's strategic coach and will join the large staff that G2 has working on its League of Legends division. The Singaporean coach has been in the League esports teams in 2012, previously working with teams like LNG in the LPL and Hong Kong Attitude. He also is a relevant personality in the industry and has participated on air for various esports events, including World 2019 as a part of the official LPL broadcast. Like I said before, G2 is not the only team interested in trying to sign Nelson to reinforce its coaching staff. Again, I think that is a good sign. I think that shows that people do see value in this guy, and people are really going to be hyped up and excited about this signing. And G2, especially if they got in like a bidding war or something, must feel pretty confident that this guy will be able to be at least a positive addition to their staff and help them out in a meaningful way. A lot of franchises in the LEC contacted the coach over the last couple of weeks. Sources say G2 ended the 2021 LEC Spring Split playoffs in third place, which is a disappointing result for G2. This was the first split with Reckless. It marked the first time the organization failed to win the LEC in 4 splits since the EULCS rebranded. Dot reached out to G2 for comment on the acquisition of Nelson. While we can't comment on Nelson, we can confirm that Grabbz will remain our head coach for the split. So again, that is going to be something people definitely want a lot of clarification on and stuff. What is happening with Grabbz? Is Grabbz in? Is Grabbz out? Is he gone? And he's staying. He is still the head coach. I think that makes a lot of sense. Again, just having one bad split for G2, I don't think means that Grabbz needs to be gone or anything like that. But again, I do think he's on the hot seat. I do think the summer split and Worlds are going to be a big part in play of how Grabbz' future looks for G2 if they have a disappointing summer split, if they don't win the title probably even, and if they go to Worlds. Obviously, a good Worlds run can remedy anything. If you make it to semifinals at Worlds, it won't matter probably who won the championships. But if they have a bad summer split, if they have a bad Worlds, I would not be surprised at all to see G2 making a coaching change again. Not that Grabbz hasn't been great, not that he hasn't been awesome, not that he hasn't done a good thing, but all good things come to an end. Everyone has their time. Certain coaching styles just get played out. You come in, you help the team, you improve, but then eventually if things start stagnating, if things start falling off, sometimes you just need a new voice. Sometimes you need a new leadership style. Sometimes you need a new coaching style. And I think that could be on the table for G2. But hopefully Nelson can come in, help them change some things around. If we look at Nelson's previous history, what stands out to me is obviously his time with Hong Kong Attitude in the LMS in 2017. He came in and they didn't perform great in the LMS. I believe they finished 6th place, but they did go to Worlds that year, which was obviously a very, very big run. We can actually pull up this real quick. I believe if we go to their tournament results, we can go to the Worlds 2019. Where we had Hong Kong Attitude in the play-ins. They won their group in play-ins. They went 3-1. They only dropped a game to Loki Esports. And then Hong Kong Attitude ended up having a 3-1 victory over Isurus Gaming to make it to the actual main event, where they ended up going 0-6. But they were in a loaded group with Griffin, G2, and Cloud9. That is definitely a tough group. But yeah, definitely a little bit of a disappointing finish for an LMS team. But they had another LMS team also go 0-6. But then J Team did go 3-3. So that year, that was a really, really rough year for the LMS. But being able to work out of the play-in stage, being able to actually qualify for the main event, especially after a 6th place finish in the regular season, I think is still pretty admirable, because we see here or they had a 3rd place finish in the summer. For some reason, I was thinking I saw 6. I looked this stuff up a little bit before. They had 3rd place in summer, 3rd place in the playoffs, and then go in the regional finals. So they were expected to make it to Worlds, and they did, which is good. But yeah, being able to actually make it out of the main event, he does have some international experience and stuff. Obviously, he has some experience in the LPL, working with LNG. They did not have the best results. I believe they finished 16th and 13th in the 2 splits where Nelson was working with them. So as far as like actually putting up results with teams that he's worked with, there's not a lot of history there. But again, that's always not the coach's fault. It depends on the players and stuff too. You can't be a miracle worker. You can only take the players and the talent you got and help to improve them or help them to set up a good style. But yeah, I think in the playoffs, a big criticism for G2 was the fact that they lacked a lot of creativity. They looked not like the old G2 at all. Old G2 is known for crazy plays, creativity on the map, really interesting, different drafts, standing out in terms of champion picks, in terms of just their craziness of being able to make any play anytime, and then their clutchness also just being able to pull it out. And that's not what happened in the playoffs. You know, they consistently looked very flat. They looked very boring. It looked like they were unconfident. They were scared to kind of make the plays they'd usually make. They tried some different drafts, but they were different in a bad way than different in like an interesting way. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, I think that this will help G2. Obviously, Grabbz is not necessarily known as, you know, being the great like strategist, analyst, coach, anything like that. He's just kind of a guy that gets everyone to work together the right way and kind of sets these players up, these veteran players up for success. But again, I do think it will be good for G2 to have a fresh voice in there, to have a fresh mindset. Maybe it'll help them out with their leadership and coaching a little bit, but obviously the G2 team understands that also is something they need to work on for the new split. So I've seen a lot of positive tweets and stuff. It seems like people are excited about this guy. Again, I didn't know a ton about him previously, but I am excited, and I do agree with G2 bringing someone new in, bringing someone new on, and I hope this means good things for G2 going into the summer split, because again, I'm a fan of the West. I want to see the West doing well at international events, and I do think G2 is obviously one of our best opportunities, one of our best chances, and if they have a down split in the summer, I think that could be bad for the West as a whole going into Worlds. So Nelson, do some magic, put in some work. I hope things go well. But G2 does have a new coach on the staff, and it's, you know, things are looking interesting going into the summer split. We'll see how it all works out. That is pretty much it for this video today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for watching. I would appreciate it so much if you did drop a like on this video. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment down below. Do you think Nelson is going to help out G2? Do you think it's not going to matter? Do you think it's going to make them worse? I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.